Hello, my beautiful peeps. It's Terry Jo coming at you here, and it is a fine Saturday morning, and it is March 5th, I believe. I'd have to double check that, but I've been challenged by Holy Spirit Firefall to share 5 things that you all don't know about me. First, in 1976 and 1977, when I was just a slip of a girl, I was 12 and 13 years old, I was a shoe shine girl. Yes, I was an entrepreneur at a very young age. I paid $5 and bought a shoe shine box with all the goodies on the inside from Dave Blackwell. I'm sure the man doesn't mind my sharing his name. And it was one of the best investments to date, besides like in my education that I've made. Let me stop moving this around. Because I did well, and probably because I was a girl. I would charge 35 cents, but most people gave me $1. Now, I lived in a town called Marcus Hook, down the Hook to take a look. And that town made the Guinness Book of World Records in the late 1960s for having the most number of bars in whatever square mile. It might be the residential area, maybe like 1 square mile. But it had something like 34 bars. Now, fast forward to 1976, it didn't have that many bars, but it had a lot, enough that I could do quite well. And in 1976, sometimes I'd come home with $10, $15. That'd be my take. And my mother would be on the back porch, and if I gave her the thumbs up, that meant I made enough money that night to buy us a pizza. And so we would have, something to eat. I was raised in a single parent home, and my mother and I didn't have much money when I was growing up. So that shoe shine money came in very handy. Now, a lot of places there was no solicitation. But some of the Ye Faithfuls, Captain Jack's, St. George's, gosh, I can't remember all the places now, Tracy's, they've all been torn down over the years. Yeah, I have some fond memories. Another thing that y'all don't know about me is I'm a lefty. Yes, that's my left hand. My great-grandmother used to share with me a story that when she was in school, if she would try to write with her left hand, the teachers would come around and whack the hand and tell them to write with their right hand, not the left hand, because I guess it was considered, I don't know, it was pathology was attached to being a lefty then. And thank goodness for my sake and all lefties out there, the times have changed. And the third thing, and this is really neat, in the summer of 1996, I met Mother Teresa. Yes, I did. I met her, and she said, "God bless you," and she touched me on my forehead, and she handed me 2 medallions. I still have one of the medallions, and I couldn't find it. I should know exactly where it is, and actually I think I do, but it is packed away, and I'd have to really go digging to get it. But I did volunteer work from October of 95 up until 2000 for the Missionaries of Charity, which is Mother Teresa's order. And I worked specifically, I was a volunteer at the Gift of Mary, which is, was a shelter for women and children living with HIV and AIDS. We, myself and some other volunteers, drove down to Spring City, Maryland, and we heard Mother Teresa give Mass. Now, I don't want to misrepresent, I'm not Catholic, but, I was a volunteer again, and it was a wonderful experience, that volunteer work. The Missionaries of Charity are a wonderful group of women. And so from this Spring City, we went to Washington to the Gift of Peace. At the time, that was a shelter for men living with HIV and AIDS. And that's where we met Mother Teresa. So that was a spiritual experience, and one that I will always remember. I'm on number 4 now. Okay. I had a nickname for a number of years, and it stuck. Beets. Beets was short for beetle, okay? I was born with a full head of black hair in 1964. I was about 3 months old in this picture, but you get the idea. And February 7th, now I was born January 7th, 64. February 7th, 64 was the British invasion. That's when the Beatles came over, and I don't know the exact night that they were on the Ed Sullivan Show.
It was February 9th,
If I had to venture a
1964.
guess, I'd say it was around that time. And their hair was considered long for the times. And so Beats, first they called me Beatle after the rock group, the Beatles, for the long dark hair, and then they shortened it to Beats, and yes, it stayed with me. Now, number 5, I went to speech therapy until the 7th grade. I can remember the speech therapist coming to the classroom, and she'd point at me, and she'd go, because I would ignore her. This is embarrassing to have a speech therapist come and get me out of class in the 7th grade. But I had to overcome a couple of, I don't know if they would be called speech impediment, but I had trouble, and I still do, with my R sound. And I can remember her looking at me and saying, look at my tongue. And she'd say, look at my tongue. I would say rubber chicken. That was the other thing, the blenders. Instead of rubber chicken, rubber chicken. Or church instead of church. So they were my 2 bugaboos. I seem to think that there was another thing that I struggled with, but I can't recall what it was. But anyway, the R sound was what I really had problems with. Honorable mention. Another nickname. Vega. Tervega. My cousin Ronnie called me Vega because when I was 15 years old, he would rent his Vega to me for 5 spot in 1979, and I thought I was so cool. Me and my friends would go out riding around in the Vega, and man, good times. Okay, good times. So that's what I would do, and that's honorable mention. Thank you so much to HolySpiritFireFall for challenging me. I know that I should challenge 5 people. I'll challenge Frugal Wellness with Frugal Mama. I challenge Moments with Vanessa. I challenge Naisha TV. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know there's more to that. I'm going to put it down in the comments. My memory's not always this. My memory is overrated. People tell me I have the memory of an elephant, but no, my memory's overrated. And I would have challenged Dana, but she's already been challenged, so I'm going to challenge Joe. And I'll put his channel down below. I think that's 5. If it isn't, it will simply have to do. And thank you all so much for checking in. Thank you everyone for all of your support, continued support with my channel. Peace, love, and Pink Floyd.